Hey, you have a fun way of talking about the four temperaments. Now we all know about sanguines and cholerics and melancholies and phlegmatics. We don't remember who's who in that list, but you remember them by dogs, and you're a Yorkie.
Yeah.
What's a Yorkie like?
Well, a Yorkie, is a sanguine is a Yorkie, but I mean, Wayne, as well as I know you, I would never ever like to say to you, Wayne, I see you as a sanguine, or I see you as a melancholy, or worse yet, a choleric. It sounds like you're a Muslim that's about to throw up, a choleric, or a phlegmatic. That sounds like something that gets on your skin in the ocean, and you have to go see a man to get rid of it.
They have medicine for that now.
That's right. So I just talk about these personalities. The Yorkie is that, in birth order, the Yorkie is the baby of the family. That fun-loving person he's just waiting or she's waiting for a party to happen. And then there's the choleric. I call them the Great Dane, because they're the serious ones that get things done. The standard poodle is the melancholy, and that's the one that is the great shooter. They're always shooting on other people. They're the Martha Luthers of life, if they're a female, because they're the great reformers. They're the ones who, if they're a female, has a little psychological Brillo pad in their purse that sees their husband with these leopard-like spots and said, well, I'm going to change those spots. Yeah. Well, good luck, lady. All you're going to do is irritate the leopard. And then there's the Irish setter.
Yeah, the one at peace at all cost, right?
Yeah, and that's the phlegmatic. And birth order-wise, they correlate with a middle child. Can't we just all get along? That kind of mentality that just goes with the ways of life. And so all of us bring this temperament. And see, God's created us all differently. And there's longitudinal studies, by the way, of people in the social sciences who predicted personality based on temperament that they see in nurseries of hospitals.
Really?
Yes. So every child brings to the plate a personality. Some kids are manatee-like. We had a daughter who should probably remain nameless, but I think I'll be brave enough to tell you it's our firstborn,
okay,
who is a principal in the largest school district in the United States of America. But you know what? Holly majored in English. Holly did know what a dangling participle was. But we had conversations like this. Honey, you wake up Holly. No, I ain't waking her up. You wake her up. Because Holly'd wake up swinging. That was her personality. Where Chrissy, the second-born, was like a manatee. You could pick her up out of a dead sleep, take her and put her in the car, put her in a car seat, not a whimper out of her. If you did that with Holly, she'd cry for an hour. So every kid comes to their home with some built-in tendencies. But God gave us parents to help shape some of those things. So this isn't late-breaking news, folks, but we are a product of our environment.
Yeah,
and the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
I understand that, but some of us are getting up there in years. I mean, we're pretty set in our ways. Can we really change in a matter of a few days even?
Well, I would say that the book is a scam. When you talk about have a new you by Friday, I honestly and truly believe this. You could have a new you by Wednesday.
Oh boy, that's the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, but you have to decide to do differently. Now you do battle, let's say. Okay, we're talking about adult now, but you do battle with your daughter-in-law all the time, or your son-in-law all the time, or your brother, or your aunt, or your uncle. Pick your poison. I don't care who we're talking about. But do you suppose that maybe when your loudmouth brother-in-law says something, that rather than go after him like you normally do, that you just look at him and say, Roger, wow, that's fascinating. Or Roger, you could be right.
Boy,
or Roger,
that'll throw him off.
Or Roger, I never thought about it in those terms. In other words, what I give people in Have a New You by Friday is skills. Skills for you to choose to behave differently. And if you'll be brave enough to just try these things. That's why they always say, don't try this at home. Hey, I'm telling you just the opposite. Try this at home, in the comfort of your home. It's a safe place to do it with those you love and those that you clash with. And I try to just lay it out so that you get some information about knowing who you are. And I cover that in the first few chapters of the book. And then I give you specifics about, okay, how are we going to do some things differently now to affect behavioral change in your life?
All for significantly less than $199.
Yeah, I mean, cheap.
Well, I really enjoyed reading the book, and I did read the book. I am the voice on this book, by the way, so I learned.
Well, here's the trick, and we'll give people some inside information. If the author, like me, chooses to read the book, they'll pay me extra money. Okay? No.
Well, you're so busy, you don't have time to read books.
Well, it's not that. It's that I get bored reading my own book.
Because you're a Yorkie.
Because
yeah.
I would much rather improvise. I know it's written down, and that's why I appreciate editors, because they said, Leman, you can't jump around like that. We have to move this to this section. To which I say, fine, move it. If it makes sense to you, I'm going to trust your judgment. But see, I, as a baby of the family, have to rely on those firstborns. My firstborn lovely wife, I call her Mrs. Uppington. In fact, I dedicated the book, Have a New Husband by Friday, to her. She's the firstborn. She's the one, Wayne, that could spot a flaw at 50 paces. Well, guess who the flaw is? But, I rely on her, but quite frankly, I need her to help straighten me up, and she needs me to help lighten her up. I came home from CBS one morning. I did an interview with Harry Smith in New York, and I said to my wife, I said, well, what did you think of the interview? And she said, oh, you were good. I said, what does that mean? She said, I said, you were good.
And you wanted to be an entertainer, yeah.
Yeah. I said, you're not giving me the truth. What's the problem? She said, did you have to blow your nose in your tie? And what happened was, I saw the sign of the floor director, and they gave Harry the sign that we had to wrap up. Harry didn't see the sign. And so Harry went on to another whole thing about, oh, Dr. Leman, we never got into your birth order. What's your birth order? And knowing I had seconds, I grabbed my tie, and I feigned blowing my nose in it and told him I was a baby. I would do anything for attention. Well, Mrs. Uppington did not see the humor in that, Wayne. But see, a doctorate degree, 13 years of college, 40 years of experience in working with people. What am I doing on national TV? Blowing my nose. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that thread, that indelible thread, that personality tends to stay with it, but it doesn't mean that you can't grow up. It doesn't mean you can't change behavior. It doesn't mean that relationships can't turn around literally in days. They can.
That's the hope in this book. Have a New You by Friday, and other books as well by Dr. Kevin Leman. Of course, the classic is the Birth Order book, which is available from Oasis as well. Kevin, for those about to take off on this journey of change and start listening to this book, Have a New You by Friday, what's the best way to get ready for this journey?
Well, I think to have an open mind, and, if you are that firstborn critical person, okay, you're going to listen to this tape, and you're going to hear these words, and those automatic systems in you are going to be set off. Oh, well, I'm not sure I agree with that. Well, excuse me, queen or princess. What I'm saying is, hey, if you see some things, you hear some things, I should say, that you don't like, cross them out, modify them. But use this audio to change your life. I tell people, and they read Leman books, I said, you might find a page of stuff you just don't agree with at all. Rip the page out, crumple it up. You won't hurt my feelings. But use the book to help you get to where you want to get. Most people are held back by their own self-destructive behavior. And everybody thinks that Everybody else has got it made, but poor me, I'm stuck here, I'm stuck there. There's inspiration in this book. I think you'll be motivated. This is an inspiring book. Some of my books are more inspiring than others. This is an inspiring book, I think.
I found it to be that way as well. Kevin, we're out of time, but thank you. Dr. Kevin Leman, the author of Have a New You by Friday, now available from Oasis Audio. He's a Yorkie, that's clear. Kevin, thank you.
You're welcome, Wayne.
For Oasis Audio, I'm Wayne Shepherd.